To my live stream. Do you like my thumbnail? Like and subscribe if you want to watch the next one. I make these videos live every day at 7:30 p.m. But not just that, I got something to show you guys. I got a huge turkey. Do you guys like turkey? Do you guys like these eating videos? Because holy man, I just had one heck of a day. Oh, today was a tough day. Let me tell you. Today was not an easy day. Oh, the screen looks a little bit black at the bottom, eh? So we're going to take some time to let the viewers trickle in. We're going to be talking about the United States has just purchased TikTok. That's right, the purchasing of TikTok has just taken place. No more do people have to worry about losing their content. No more do people have to worry about all that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about it and what this means for financing. A lot of the viewers are going to be able to keep on posting stuff every day and not worry about it. So that's good. It's what we love to hear. And that's the way that it should be. Right? So what is up, you guys? We're just going to take some time to let everybody trickle in. If you like my content, like and subscribe. Normally I post shorts every single day. So that is 100%. So TikTok was always something that people were wondering if it was ever going to sell. And people were a little bit scared to lose their accounts because they were doing a lot of business promotion with TikTok in the changed industry that we're in right now. And so a lot of small businesses need to continue doing TikTok every single day. And because it gets good advertising, it's a way to get the word out there for their products, besides just beautiful women dancing. Braylon says hello, and Add2 said hi. What's up, you guys? Guess what else we got going on here? I got a huge turkey that took me 4 hours to cook. Hello, Braylon, again to the 16 viewers. Be sure to give a comment. This is a chill stream. It's a place to hang out. It's a place where you're not going to be canceled like some of the other places that we're seeing. And it's a place that we can just have a little community and talk every single night at 7:30. I also post these little shorts. And if you like my stuff, stick around. So, as I was saying about TikTok, a lot of people are happy that it is finally going to stay. I know I post stuff on TikTok and I would not want it to be gone. So, even the president over in China has agreed to it. Trump has agreed to it. They signed it. And it was all thanks to me. I'm just kidding. If you see my thumbnail, that was it. Can you see my hat right here? This was the hat that I used in the thumbnail. I know it looks a little bit dark when I wear it. So I'm going to make an adjustment. I'm going to put it on later. But yeah, I also got my turkey that I'm going to be snacking on pretty shortly, actually. Because I put a lot of effort into this thing. And I do not want to screw it up. It took me 4 hours to cook. Yeah, so normally, I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit here, you guys. We're going to get a little bit more close and personal. Oh. There, and I just lost 10 viewers, eh? All right, so TikTok needed to be bought by the States. I actually thought it wasn't going to go through. To be honest with you. Hello to the person who just said hi, man. What's up? Is this the first time you were ever on my stream? Thank God TikTok is safe because I like scrolling on there every single day. You know what I'm saying? Uh, like and subscribe to the 3 viewers. Yeah, so today in the news was a pretty quiet day, pretty boring day. They talked about UK corruption. They talked about TikTok being bought. What else did they talk about? They talked about the bullets, the bullet engravings on guns. Like, what is with that? I don't understand it personally. Alex Jones is also back on YouTube. That is right. You can go on YouTube and type in Alex Jones, and he is back. Where am I from? I'm from Eastern Canada, a very small town in the middle of nowhere, chilling out with you guys. So Alex Jones is back. Google made an apology yesterday saying that they were told on purpose to suppress certain people. And what do you know? Alex Jones is back the next day, which is today, and he actually shaved his mustache. I still got my mustache here, but Alex cut his off and just left the old Hitler stash. You are so far away. Well, where are you from, my man? Where are you from? Welcome to the Chillstream. Friday night over here. Yeah, so glad Alex Jones is back. They talked a little bit about the ice deaths a couple days ago, 3 days ago. Somebody got 3 deaths, I think. A guy just lost it and went to an ice facility. Oh, you're from Algeria in Africa. I didn't know Algeria was in Africa. That was a little strange. Yeah, you can come visit if you got a visa or whatever, man. I mean, but like I said, I live in a small town, Eastern Canada. There's about 20,000 people. I just paid $20 for a turkey. You guys want to see my turkey that I just cooked? It's down there. I'm going to eat it pretty shortly, actually. I got my plate over here. Nimis Nim says hi. Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe. I'm on every night at 7:30 p.m. You want to come to Canada, buddy? You got to subscribe. Oh, yes, the price is very expensive. Yeah, well, I know life is expensive, man. It is expensive out there in the world. Welcome to the 2 other people that just joined in. And on the Joe Rogan Experience, there's a guy who's talking called Mark Kerr. Dwayne the Rock Johnson just released a movie, a boxing movie, and he's representing this guy Mark Kerr. So if you guys like Joe Rogan, it's these guys are all talking about fighting. Mark Kerr was a former fighting champion back in the 90s, I guess. He was big, he was huge, he was ripped, and so was Dwayne the Rock Johnson, of course, now. The Rock lost a lot of weight recently. You guys might have seen in the news that he's not as big as he once was at all. So it calls into question how much bodybuilding and healthy food eating contributes to getting huge, right? And TikTok is back online, as I was talking about earlier. I'm glad it's back online. What's up to the 7 viewers? Are you glad that it's saved and on in the States or not? Or do you really care at all? But me, I kind of care. The data is being transferred, my understanding, to Oracle. They used to host a lot of the cloud services. So, this is a big jump for TikTok, let me tell you, because if Oracle gets it, they get all the data and all that algorithm. And what takes place is Oracle is going to collaborate somehow with that data, integrating knowledge with AI, and I think it's going to make robots be able to pick stuff up a lot better and move around a lot better. That's why they want it. That's why they really want TikTok. If there's anybody watching me right now who's going to pay attention to the TikTok purchase, is that they want the data. They need the data for funding the robots and the AI. That's all what this is about. And another thing, too, that I got to say is what is stopping China from just creating a new app that copies the original TikTok? You know what I'm saying? So there's that as an issue. Maybe China thinks that the data is not as valuable as what the perceived paranoia from the States was, that they wanted it to be purchased and they wanted it under American ownership and they wanted it to basically have the goods. So is it maybe a bad price, or is it a purchase that's going to go up in value? And if so, how? How is Oracle going to be adjusting this? Is my question to the one guy that's chimed in. I thought my thumbnail would make things fly off the roof, but apparently it did not. So welcome guys, just slowly start to settle in and we slowly get this show on the road. Uh yeah, but besides that on the news is very quiet today. I'm trying to find anything interesting, but it's not really. Hello, Ellis Albonat. That's an interesting name. Where are you from, Ellis? Are you from North America? I wonder. Hello to the second viewer that just chimed in, just talking about TikTok, a little bit of a chill stream. Do it every night at 7:30 p.m. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Now, did the thumbnail bring you here, or were you just swiping on shorts? You're from Canada. Okay, you're from Canada. Well, I'm from Canada too, man. That's right. Welcome to my live stream. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the most scandalous, interesting guy. I'm a little bit boring, but whatever. I had to talk every single night, getting into the habit of it. I make shorts every day where I do little AI stuff, and yeah, where my AI transitions photos to videos and all that kind of stuff. It's okay. It's just kind of chill stuff. Every night, meet somebody new, and it's hide by time that I start posting these videos. And I just been watching everything on the news for a couple of years, and I feel like I finally want to participate or whatever. So I'm into it now. The ostriches in Canada are no longer being culled. I don't know if you heard about this in BC. They wanted to, the government, I guess, wanted to kill 300 ostriches. Some people were saying it was because their eggs are used for medicine and they want to be hateful about it and get rid of the ostriches. Some are saying that it's because of the perceived bird flu threat that was even in the past. And some are just saying that once things go forward, it's hard to backtrack. And there might even be some First Nations intervention to try and protect the land and the birds and all that kind of stuff. I seen online someone was passing paperwork to the cops to bring to the chief of police, I guess, or whatever, to look at it. I know the First Nations got involved a little bit. I mean, I don't know the extent of it, but I know the birds weren't dying on the day they were supposed to. So hey to the two people that just popped up. What is going on? Yeah, we're just having a chill stream, talking about the news, talking about all the stuff that's going on in Canada. And I'm gonna eat my supper pretty soon. I see a lot of people jumping in but dipping out again. That's fine. Whatever, you're gonna get that. There's no one size fits all. There's no one size fits all. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. If you don't like me, get out. Oh, jeez. I had a glass of water over here. Okay, here it is. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourself there, Alice. You too. What do you mean, me too? What does that mean? Hmm. You're trying. You're trying. All right, right on, right on. Well, subscribe to my stuff and watch some of my shorts, and get to be familiar with my homepage or whatever. You know what I'm saying? To get into the UFC. Wow, really trying to get into the UFC. I mean, I don't know much about fighting. I love bodybuilding. You've been training for 7 years. Holy crap! I was doing bodybuilding. I was doing bodybuilding for probably about 7 years. I mean, I don't got anything too crazy, but I weigh 175 right now. I weigh no, wait, I weigh 50, 60. I think I weigh 180. I weigh 180. I was 188 before, like a month ago, and I lost a little bit of weight because I was just eating more protein. For me, it's bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is my passion for sure. Just like working out, really. But I don't want to work out and then start punching the bag. You know what I mean? Because then it's like joints and inflammation and all that kind of stuff, and it kind of hinders the muscle growth type thing. Not 100% sure, but just joints, ligaments, all that kind of stuff. When you're incorporating like weightlifting and punching stuff and rolling around and all that kind of stuff, like you get these little kind of bruises on the surface of the skin, let's say, like on the inside or whatever. So it makes it harder. Whereas bodybuilding, you just eat a bunch of food, train pretty hard, and then lay down pretty much all day, and then just keep going at it until you have a more better looking physique or whatever. But I'm natural anyways. I'm not on steroids or peptides or what's some of the other stuff. Creatine. I'm not really on anything. Just completely natural. What kind of MMA do you do? Do you do like Taekwondo or mostly wrestling or what? Hey Lauren, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How'd you find me? Did it pop up on your browse feed or your live feed or your home feed? No events today. Well, no events today. That's fine. What's up? Hey to the 8 viewers that just popped in. I'm on every night at 7:30. Come join the chill stream. We talk about daily news. We just talk about whatever went in the day. And it seems like every day gets crazier and crazier. And I'm trying to bring something that is a chill environment. So I was just talking about TikTok earlier and all that kind of stuff or whatever. I do jujitsu. Okay, I don't know much about jujitsu. I mean, you need to go on the Joe Rogan podcast and explain to that guy what you're all about. Lovely Lily says hello. Hello, Lovely Lilies. And hello, Samin Afshari. That sounds nice. I wonder if Samin is a boy's name or a girl's name. Hey, to the other 2 viewers that just joined in, like and subscribe over there. I know the shorts live is whatever. Like and comment. Tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what do you like doing in your spare time? Jan O'Tooney says, did you know that in Islam, heaven is beneath the mother's feet? No, I mean, in Game of Thrones, they say maybe they live in a giant's eye? That's how honored women and mothers are in Islam. Really? But what does that mean to honor a woman? Like mothers and daughters, I mean, every woman is a daughter to someone, and every mother is like, I guess, a woman to their kids. Every mother was normally a woman, used to be. Yeah, I mean, you got to honor both sexes, really. You got to honor the man and the woman. And I know in the Bible it says that you got to, forgive your parents, I guess, for maybe not being perfect or something like that. You got to respect your parents, one of the 10 commandments. Yeah, but that can be tough sometimes. I mean, sometimes parents do terrible things to their kids, and how can you still honor them or forgive them or whatever? But the Bible talks about all that stuff too, which knows a lot more than I do. But I just got to say, there's a lot of terrible parents out there, and especially mothers. And a lot of people won't admit that. A lot of people will blame the fathers and say a lot of nasty things about the fathers or whatever. Don't talk to the fathers or stay away from the fathers or whatever that a lot of the mothers will do if the husband and wife break up or whatever, or if there's child custody and all that kind of stuff. But, there's a lot of deceiving mothers out there who just happen to be women, I mean. But, so usually the negative side of men is to be violent and cause wars. And usually the negative side of ladies is to socially alienate, ostracize, cancel, or kick out of the group, or told not to reproduce with that person or whatever. So women have their negative traits too. To the 7 viewers tonight, if you guys watch me, you guys are going to learn some stuff every single night that nobody else is going to tell you. You're not going to learn about this stuff anywhere else. We were just talking about the Bible earlier and all that kind of stuff, men and women. If you guys have any questions about your personal life that you just can't seem to figure out, or if you guys have any stuff in your personal life that you want to get better, or if you guys have any stuff that, I don't know, is on your mind, but you just can't solve over the last couple of months, don't be shy to chime in. Yes, in fact, the daughter invites her father to heaven. What if the daughter lives longer than the father? How does that make any sense? I mean, most fathers pass away before their kids, really. So that's I'm not really sure about that one, but I really don't know much about Islam, though. I mean, Islam, yeah. I mean, can't we all just get along? Yeah, but I'm not sure if I should continue talking about the relationships of fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, godmothers, godfathers, but or the matriarchs of the family, let's say. If you have a grandmother or a grandfather who's still alive, and they give you little sweets and all that kind of stuff or whatever there, which is kind of cool. I had a person who was living with my aunt one time, and I thought he was my grandfather, but he wasn't. This was whenever I was like 2 or 3, and he used to give me like a loonie and a toonie and all that kind of stuff whenever I was like 4 and 5 and 6 and all that kind of stuff. He was cool. His name was Cameron. Do you believe in prepping for the end? Well, it depends what you mean by prepping for the end. Do you mean as in a prepper who is prepping for difficult times and maybe living in a bunker, or prepping for the end as in embracing Jesus or whatever into your heart as your savior and all that kind of stuff? And that you're a sinner and that you're not perfect and that you're born not perfect, but you were close enough, but you just missed the puck type thing or whatever. There, you hit the goalpost, and then he didn't, so he's the best, so you got to ride with him. Do I believe in prepping for the end? I mean, I try to prep day by day. I just go day by day, try and live a simple life. Ellis says it's really nice how you look at your chat and actually answer them. Yeah, well, I mean, I want to know what people are saying. I want to know what people are thinking about. Both spiritual and physically, or maybe death. Well, I mean, this is something that each individual thinks about, and this is something that each individual has to have their own personal opinion on, whether they like it or not. Even an atheist makes a choice to be an atheist or whatever, and then they ride with it. But it's that the individual person not only lives a full life and all that kind of stuff or whatever, but they also have to make decisions or whatever. And a lot of people can have difficulty making decisions in life, and they want somebody else to make the decisions basically for them. Or they want to work just a 9-to-5 job, stacking shelves all day, and they don't want to think about uncomfortable stuff, which is fine. I mean, or some people have a developmental thing that just hits their limit. Say if we're at 15 and they reach a developmental limit, and they just, or they don't want to. I mean, anyone can want to get better. Anyone can want to choose to be better or whatever, but it takes that individual conceited effort. So just like religion and thinking about some of the more higher difficult things, you have to go on that kind of individual journey yourself versus have someone just tell it to you and ride with it. So faith is a very individual thing. Sometimes sexuality is a very individual thing. There's so many people out there, but not every shoe fits every box, so to speak, I guess, or whatever. There's a lot of fluidity in the human experience or whatever. Yeah, you're the only one, Lauren. I mean, sometimes people jump in and sometimes people jump out. A lot of people, a lot of people here on YouTube and on live stream shorts, they're flipping through YouTube and they're looking for something, but they don't really know what it is they're looking for. They don't really, but they want that dopamine hit to be like, I found it or whatever. And a lot of that is maybe younger women who's dressing revealing or whatever, and they think that's what they want, which is what people kind of do want. You do want that, but you want that naturally. You want that instinctively. And people can prey on that in a sense, in a negative sense or whatever. They can have perfect lighting, perfect clothing, perfect makeup or whatever, and they have everything amplified or whatever, let's say, but they're missing the personality aspect of it, or they're missing the genuine part of it. And yeah, I mean, that's just how it is or whatever. What's up, David? Raid Carnival. What is up, man? Like and subscribe. Stick around, dude. You left for a minute. I thought I was alone. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it goes up to 10 people and then it disappears and then it goes back again and back again. Sometimes people scroll up and then they go, and then they scroll down and they go back, and they're every which way. But you won't miss me if you subscribe and check me out at 7:30 every night. Yeah, it's weird. It's the algorithm testing you. They'll test you with 10 people and 10 people will swipe away. Or sometimes they just look at the screen and then they click to view live and then they say, oh, this is not for me. Because like I say, they're looking for some sort of super beautiful women, or they're looking for maybe 2,000 viewers all socializing at once real fast, say for example, and they'll be live streaming a UFC fight or something like that and commenting on that, and that gets a lot of viewers or whatever, like let's say, or whatever, like if Joe Rogan was doing it. And then there's me. Lauren McLaughlin and Ellis. Yeah. I wonder if that raid guy is still here, because it says there's only one viewer even right now. But whatever. Whatever. Yeah, I mean, I could show you guys. Like, I could grab this, and I could show you guys cinnamon rolls. And this here is a bunch of cinnamon rolls. And if I was to see how I got 7 viewers off the cinnamon rolls. Hey, cinnamon rolls, you guys like cinnamon rolls? You guys like my old cinnamon rolls? See, that'll bring in the viewers. Now, what if I take this? What if I eat it? What if I eat it? Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Told you. People want to see that. This is what they want. Yeah, I'm telling you. Now everyone's here. I got 6, 7, 10 likes. People are weirdos sometimes. People are like, did that guy just eat a cinnamon roll? I'm subscribing. I'm subscribing right now. Click it. You ate them. 6, 7. Yeah, I didn't eat much food today, man. I had a tough day. I cooked a turkey. I went for a drive and I got car problems, and it was a tough day. I'm sore from working out because I train really hard. For a natural guy, God loves you, Christ is king. Thank you, Topher. What do you think about my thumbnail? Did you see my thumbnail, Topher? Did you see me shaking the president's hand with a little paper and the TikTok symbol, or what? Hello to the 7 viewers that just jumped in. Did you guys just see me eating a cinnamon roll? Yeah, I got the turkey right here. Lauren, you guys want to see? You guys want to see my turkey? Okay, here it is. Here it is right here. It took me 4 hours to cook. What's my job? Actually, I don't work anywhere because I used to work really hard in my 20s, and now I'm 32. And I got 6 digits in the bank or whatever, and if I just get a regular job, it's not enough, because in 1 or 2 years' time, the robots is gonna take the labor jobs, and if I work a job, I'll just be wasting my time working because it's gonna get taken out anyway. So I just do personal stuff. I live a personal life, but in a way, I live a very hard life since I don't work anywhere. Life is actually really hard because I gotta find ways to make money or whatever. Not necessarily, but to buy this turkey, even though, like I said, I still got quite a little bit of money, but you still want. This is a life lesson I'm gonna give you guys. If you guys were to lose your jobs tomorrow and have $0 of income, it'd be really stressful, right? And it'd be hard, and day 1 would be hard, and day 2 would be hard, and maybe at the end of the month, when you got your mortgage to pay, and you got your hydro to pay, and you got your cell phone bill to pay, and your car bill to pay, and you're like, oh my God, I don't have a job anymore. How am I going to pay for this? Well, the answer is savings, actually. But if you do not have savings, and if you're living paycheck to paycheck, well, then probably you go bankrupt and probably you go homeless, right? So that's really scary, right? So what takes place is that since you're scared, you are instinctually not wanting to lose a job, right? Or if you did, you want to find another one right away. But that job might not necessarily give meaning. It just gives meaning in the moment, meaning you got to pay bills and this is what it costs to live, right? But if you really have faith in God, and if you really are an individual who's a strong enough individual to say, you know what, it's true that I don't have a place to go from 9 to 5 in the morning, or it's true that I don't have a paycheck coming in or whatever, but, and it's where it sounds kind of crazy, but like with faith in God and as an individual person, you got to be like strong enough to be an individual by yourself. You got to be strong enough to take on that journey on your own. And that's a hard thing to do, and that's something that I chose to do. And a lot of people didn't believe in me. A lot of people said I wouldn't make it. A lot of people stopped talking to me and canceled me, or a lot of people said I was lazy. I got videos of myself curling 100-pound dumbbells, by the way, at 175 pounds. So, it's kind of strange that people say I'm lazy, but yet I can do that, which I'm alluding to people just projecting. But a lot of people can't handle it, but a lot of people are not developed enough as a person to take on the challenge of life and being an individual on your own. And every single day is hard because you don't have that job to go to. You don't have that paycheck that is going to come in. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, I had people but I used to work little jobs here and there before where sometimes people would be aggressive with me, or they would try and steal my energy, and they would try to get me to work harder and harder and harder and harder while they were sitting around doing nothing, right? Like a assistant manager. And one time he tried to pressure me and he said, you know what, David, you really need this job. You really need this job. How are you going to pay the bills if, you don't stack these shelves even harder than you're already doing? And man, I was busting my chops stacking these shelves. But this was the type of assistant manager who is one of those narcissistic psychopaths who feed off sucking out as much energy as they possibly can, and then they throw you in the trash and move on to the next person. This is the type of person who's like that, and you're gonna bump into a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people in Canada that's like that, man. A lot, dude. And I knew he was projecting because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, do I really need this job? And then I thought to myself and I said, no, actually I don't. And then it kind of hit me. I was like, I don't, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to show up to work tomorrow and I'm just going to say, yeah, just to let you know, I quit. Yeah, I'm leaving. And then, and I did. And one of these other assistant managers, a lady, was like, oh, why? And I'm like, well, because Nathan said that I need this job. And I just said, no, I don't. So I quit. And then I left. And they were all like, what? Yeah, you're the only one here. Yeah, well, like I say, sometimes people jump in and jump out. I mean, I don't know. Probably, I don't know how accurate this thing is really. So anyway, what happened was the assistant manager who wound up saying to me that I need this job. And he wound up saying, what are you going to do and all this stuff. He had to do my job. Since I just quit, he had to do my job. So then he had to work for the first time ever. He had to really work his ass off because I was working my ass off. But he wanted me to work my ass off even more just because he was one of those psychopaths who was trying to extract as much energy out of you so that I become like a slave who's always worried about him type thing. I don't know if you ever bumped into these people, but these people are the worst. And he had to do my job. And you know what my job was? My job was loading 50-pound bags of dog food all night from 7 at night till 7 in the morning. And he wanted me to work even harder than I already was. And I was doing 14 pallets a night or something like that. And he wanted me, he's like, well, how come you're not doing 15? How come you're not doing 16? I've seen guys before do 19 at the very, very upper echelons of known dog food stacking whatever echelons. And I'm like, well, how much is the bare minimum? He's like, well, 8. And I'm like, well, you should consider yourself lucky that I'm doing 13 or whatever. I mean, if 90% get 8 and only 1% get 18, and I'm right there at 13, 14, well, then I'm doing above average. So I don't see why this guy was so horny to extract as much out of me. But I thought I was doing pretty good. Actually, I said to him, well, I think I'm doing pretty good. And he's like, well, I think you don't. I'm like, well, I don't care what you think. And then it was quiet for 45 seconds. He's like, he's like, you need this job. I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, how you gonna pay the bills? I'm like, I don't know. And he's like that, because most people will be like, well, what do you mean you don't know? Because fear of the unknown is sometimes worse than anything, right? The fear of not knowing. And I was like, I don't know. I'll just deal with it when I get to it. And sometimes that's what life is. You just deal with it when you get to it. And I dealt with it. And that's it. So, God works in mysterious ways, right? I mean, if that was anything, I could leave with the live stream tonight for you guys knowing. And sometimes people come check this out like a day or two later, right? Because they're wondering about the TikTok thing. And if there's any message I could leave to you guys tonight, it would be that, like, uh, having faith sometimes isn't just going to the church on Sunday and praying and then leaving church and feeling refreshed and being like, oh, yeah, okay, time to get back to my regular life now or whatever. A lot of people go to church and do terrible sins pretty much when they leave and they think, well, I'll just go to church and I'll just repent a little bit. Oh, it's fine or whatever. But and you can tell a lot of nasty people who go to church, they give big donations in the donation bin because when it's time to give out the donations, and some of the guilty people or whatever, or some of the people who's not feeling so good about some of the stuff that they did, they wind up giving a $50, $100, $200 donation, and like there, that's my contribution. I contributed a lot there to this church and this community. $200 one shot is a lot. Yeah, it is a lot. What'd you do the last 2-3 months? What'd you do the last 6 months? Well, why'd you give such a big donation? Why don't you give a $200 donation every month? Why only give a $200 donation every 2 years? What big bad thing do you keep doing every 2-3 years? Screw you. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And I think it says in the Bible something about that. Like someone who donates $1 or $2 is fine if that's what they can afford, or maybe a rich person, if they can afford 5 or 10, well, that's fine. They can afford 5 or 10 or whatever. Not everything has to be about, well, I contributed this much or whatever, like with that story, whenever I was saying about loading dog food all day, it's like, what do I have to maximize my potential and become this unleashed dog food sorting guy of the whole world and get a 21 pallets in that day, the most he's ever known, and all this hoorah. And then the next day, if I do 11, he's going to say, well, how come you don't do 21 like you did yesterday? Or how come you can't do 21 every day? What that means is instinctually, it's that it makes him look better for extracting the value out of me so he can tell his supervisor, look, I got this new guy producing more than anyone else. You better keep me around because I found a way to provide my employer way more than he's ever known before. Therefore, he's more valuable and he gets a promotion. And therefore, he sees me as less of a threat because he knows how tired I am loading dog food all day. So he knows I'm at the behest of his shackles or whatever. So in a way, it's both a positive for him. He gets to suck all the energy out of me and leave me weak and I can't do anything. And for him, he has a better social status. He has more power. He has more reputation. And he has more free will and autonomy that I can even do so much that he himself does less. So then he even saves energy. So this is the type of people that you got to watch out for. And those are the exact same kind of people who will give a big donation thinking at the church or whatever saying, well, I'll get higher into heaven because I give a bigger donation. Yeah, but of the 365 days of the year that you're living, how much have you hurt people and extracted the value out of them and then made a donation to the church thinking that, oh, well, this is my penance for doing such a great thing, because I give a higher donation than the guy who I outworked him so hard or whatever. Maybe God would view that person who was working real hard would get in the higher echelons of heaven than the guy who was mean and nasty and hateful and lived a terrible life. Then there's a lot of nasty people out there. So my advice in closing is you got to find people who's genuine. And there's not a lot of genuine people out there, but we all have instincts to make more money and to have a higher social status and to have more power and to have more energy. And the whole point of a job is to create value for your employer who makes more money and then he gives you a tiny bit. But after 2,000 years of this taking place, does that sort of autonomy need to continue, is what I'm saying. And is that relationship going to continue? But I believe that is going to be questioned in the next couple of years. Because if that was the case, why would your employer keep you around if you can only do 10% value But if he can purchase a robot for $8,000 and that robot can produce, I don't know, $100,000 of value in a year, and you can only produce $20,000 of value a year, well, it wouldn't make sense on paper to keep you. It wouldn't. And as an individual, why would you want to load dog food all day long, night shift, just for money to sustain yourself to be able to barely survive when your employer is going to replace you anyway, let's say. And then at the same time, you say, oh, damn, well, I can't compete with this robot, because it doesn't eat, it doesn't sleep, it doesn't whatever, it doesn't get sore and tired or whatever. So people would not be happy doing this type of job anyway. So what that means is that that individual has to go out into the world, say, and do individual things that they enjoy as they learn and continue to develop and grow and all that kind of stuff. Because that's what we can still do, right? And then even one day, maybe I won't be here and it'll be a robot talking to you, giving you this type of advice. And yeah, it would probably give you maybe even better advice than I'm giving you tonight. So, are you still with us, Ellis? You didn't forget to subscribe, did you? You didn't forget to like. You didn't forget to give an extra 10, 20 comments to help the algorithm, did you? So, hello to the second viewer that just popped in. My live streams, though, I'd like to do my live streams more. I like to do like more committed, more like transitions to websites and all that kind of stuff. Right now, I'm just shooting from my phone, giving advice. So it's not super high quality, but if I did get a larger community, it would make me want to like invest more into being more serious or whatever, into producing better stuff. But right now, we're just starting small. So I think, what do you think about that, Ellis? Are you still here with us? To the second viewer, are you still with us? I got 7 likes tonight. That's pretty high. That's pretty high. So, in closing, guys, I was just about to leave and 3 people showed up. Are you kidding me? I mean, I still haven't eaten supper yet. Maybe it was all my life advice that was getting you guys excited. But anyway, to the 3 viewers, subscribe, check out my stuff, and yeah, that's it. Check me out tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. And yeah, if you don't, that's cool too, because I really don't care. See you later.